So, MLS, one thing you need to realize is this: you are entering a historic era. A historic era where you would definitely be able to gain more fans. And the reason why you'll be able to gain more fans is because everybody who is subscribed will be able to watch the games. You don't have to be a fan of a certain team and live within that metro area to watch them play. You can be an LAFC fan that lives in Miami and you're still able to watch LAFC games. Why? Because no more blackouts. You can be an Atlanta United fan and live in London. You're still able to watch Atlanta United games. Why? Because Apple TV has enabled MLS to become a global brand. So as long as you are subscribed to Apple, you'll be able to watch any MLS game whenever you want. Now, I do believe that if you're not able to watch the games live, I believe you'll be able to go back and watch it. I'm not really sure about that yet, but I'm not going to get too much into that. MLS, this message is to remind you who you are. MLS, you're a trailblazer. You're a league that had to fight to get to the level that you're on right now. Think about how things were in the late 90s. Did you truly envision yourself being in this state? Being in position to turn into a global power in the 2020s? Did you sincerely see this day coming? You were a league that was just taking it year by year, year by year. Let's just see how we'll go. Let's just survive year by year, year by year. But now you have passed the survival stage. You are now, think of that word. You're now sufficient. You're now well off. And the main thing that you have to be careful, you cannot allow people to destroy your brand. And I'm not only talking about the leagues, I'm talking about every team. Every MLS team needs to protect their brand. And I'm talking about protecting it from supporter groups that call themselves real fans, but they're showing their true colors as political watchdogs. You know, there's some fake controversy going on with the Seattle Sounders and their supporter group about a company, a business, or a brand, Providence, the name Providence being labeled on the jersey. And the supporter group, they don't like Providence because Providence had violated their political ideologies. But if I'm you, Sounders, I'm questioning, but wait a minute. Who is this really about? Is this about the Seattle Sounders? Or is it about you, supporter group? What does the word supporter mean? What does the word supporter mean? Supporter means that you are following the lead of whoever you're supporting. A supporter is not supposed to tell the business that they're supporting, this is what we want done. and we demand that you follow our needs, you're not a supporter at that point. At that point, you're a propagandist. At that point, you are showing your true colors that you have your own agenda and that you're not truly trying to support the team. Support means to give comfort, to assist, to give encouragement. A supporter is supposed to be the right-hand man of the club. Supporter is not supposed to have his own separate agenda from the club. And yes, supporter does give approval on certain decisions, but their approval is based on suggestions. Their approval is not based on demand. And a lot of these MLS teams, a lot of these MLS supporter groups, their approval comes in the form of demand and not suggestions. You have Emerald City supporter group literally threatening the Sounders that they're going to do something if they don't change, if they don't cut ties with Providence. Well, Emerald City supporter group, let me tell you something. It's not happening. Providence is staying. And if you have a problem with it, cut ties with the Seattle Sounders and allow the Seattle Sounders to find a real supporter group that will actually support, a supporter group that's true sports fans, a supporter group that is there to assist, to promote the brand of the team, not a supporter group that has their own separate political agenda. So as we're heading deep into the 2020s, and we got this new Apple TV deal going on, MLS, you have to protect your brand. You have to talk to every MLS owner and tell them to protect their brand. And then you have to talk to these supporter groups. You have to figure out who these supporter groups truly are. Because some of these supporter groups are not true sports fans. A lot of these supporter groups have their own separate political agenda. And it's your job, MLS, to find those supporter groups that have their own separate political agenda, and you cut ties with them, get them out. Because those supporter groups will damage your brand. They will hurt your brand. A lot of these supporter groups, they want to be the face of the team. They're not true supporters. They have their own separate political agenda, and they're using the team, they're finessing the team to promote their personal political ideologies. And Emerald City Supporter Group is one of those groups. Emerald City Supporter Group is not a true supporter of the Seattle Sounders. Emerald City Supporter Group have their own separate political agenda, and they're using the Sounders. They're finessing the Sounders to promote their political plans. So MLS, as we head into this Apple TV deal, and we get this Leagues Cup started, and the Seattle Sounders represent MLS in the World Cup, we have to get these fake supporter groups out of here. The Seattle Sounders are on a historic achievement, a historic move in being the first MLS club to participate in the Club World Cup. And we got a supporter group that's trying to steal the shine. They're trying to steal the attention from the Sounders just because their personal political ideology and agenda has been violated. Emerald City supporter group, you are selfish. And we don't have room for selfishness in MLS. If you don't want to be a true supporter of the Sounders, being a true supporter of the Sounders, that means you support every decision that they make. That's your job. You're a supporter. If you have a problem and you don't support every decision that they make, you're not a true supporter. Leave. And MLS, that's the MLS owners, that's the type of mentality that you have to have for every supporter group. Don't allow these supporter groups to become the face of your team. Don't allow these supporter groups to kill your brand with their personal political ideologies. Because a lot of these ideologies are illogical. A lot of these ideologies are unethical. And a lot of these ideologies are immoral to the common man. So that's all I have to say. MLS, protect your brand from these supporter groups. Because a lot of these supporter groups are not true supporters. They're not real sports fans. A lot of them are political propagandists.